everybody, I'm Mrs. Cox, the counselor at Carterville, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about getting along and cooperating with our family. I know that things have been really different lately. The last couple of months we've been at home a lot more than we normally are. Typically this time of the year we're at school learning and having a great time with our friends. And things have been just a little bit different because we're spending more time with our family, with our brothers and sisters, without any breaks. Breaks with going to school or having school activities or maybe after school sports. And so at times when we're together a lot, sometimes we really struggle with getting along and cooperating with each other. Sometimes we're getting angry with each other. Maybe we don't even know why. Maybe it has nothing to do with that person at all. Maybe someone is just frustrated because life is a little bit different. And so I wanted to read to you today one of my favorite books from when I was a girl. It's the Berenstain Bears Get in a Fight. And I think this book kind of fits perfectly along with kind of where we are right now as a country. When two small bears don't get along, their grown-ups worry what went wrong. Most mornings in bear country, the sun rose to greet the day, and the mockingbird sang its copycat songs outside an upstairs window of the bear's tree house. And inside the tree house, Brother Bear and Sister Bear would wake up. Brother and sister usually got along very well. They took turns nicely with the bathroom. They said please and thank you at breakfast. They often sat together on the school bus, and after school they worked together happily on their special project, their own backyard treehouse. But one gray morning, brother and sister didn't get along well at all. Maybe it was the weather, or maybe it was because the mockingbird slept late. But whatever it was, Brother and Sister Bear got into a big fight. Sister Bear opened her eyes and stretched, and then she sat up, and her legs let her legs dangle over the edge of her bed, right in Brother Bear's face. She didn't do it to be rude. It was just one of those things that happens with bunk beds. But that morning, Brother Bear was not in a very good mood. "Sister," he shouted, "get your dopey feet out of my face." "My feet aren't dopey, and they're not in your face," she shouted back. "Get your dopey face out of my face," said Brother. "You shush up," snapped his sister. And before Brother could answer, she skipped into the bathroom ahead of him. Does this look a little familiar at all? She took a very long time brushing her teeth, washing up and brushing her fur. "You'd better come out of that bathroom," shouted Brother Bear, banging on the door. "Brother Bear," said Papa, coming out of his bedroom, "you know better than to shout at your sister." "But she's taking too long in the bathroom," complained Brother, "and she's doing it on purpose." When Brother Bear raised his fist to bang on the door again, it opened up, and Sister came out, all spruced up. "Good morning, Papa," she said, "as nice as you please." "Grr," said Brother. Brother and Sister didn't say please and thank you that morning at breakfast because they weren't speaking to each other, and they didn't sit together on the school bus. Sister sat in the front, and Brother sat way in the back. That afternoon, they made a line down the middle of their backyard treehouse to show which half was whose. It wasn't much fun sitting up there in the treehouse and not speaking, especially when it began to rain hard. Later, they kept on being mean by taking back the things that they usually shared. Sister took back her modeling clay, which Brother Bear had made into dinosaurs, and she rolled it into one great big lump. Brother took back his trucks and planes and put them on the top shelf where Sister could reach them. They got so angry that they forgot they weren't speaking and began shouting at each other even louder than before. Then Papa lost his temper, and he began shouting at them to stop. Sometimes when we're not getting along, even the moms and dads start to feel uncomfortable. The neighbors didn't know which was worse, the big storm or the racket coming from the bear's house. Mama had had quite enough. She put 2 fingers to her mouth, and she whistled very loudly. Papa and the cubs were so surprised that they stopped shouting. "Well, I didn't know you could whistle like that, Mama," said Sister. "Well, I can. And I can also tell you," Mama said sternly, "that I've had enough of this foolish fighting. Why, I doubt you two even remember what you're fighting about in the first place." Well, the cubs tried to remember, and they couldn't. Mama took the cubs into her lap. "Everybody gets into an argument every once in a while," she said, "even folks who love each other very much." "Well, you and I don't have arguments," said Papa. "Oh, yes, we do," said Mama. "No, we don't," argued Papa. "Well, we're having one right now," said Mama. "We're having an argument whether or not that we have arguments." While Papa thought that one over, Mama went on to say that occasional arguments are just part of living together. When we get angry, we even call each other names and say things that we really don't mean. And after a while, it's over. "Like the storm," said Sister. The rain had almost stopped, and the sun was beginning to shine through the clouds. "Yes," said Mama, "like the storm." "Look," said Papa. The sun shining on the last of the rain had made a rainbow. So Brother and Sister Bear hugged and made up and got all along just beautifully, until the next time anyway. And boys and girls, I hope that you learned in the story that it's okay to not get along all the time, because there's just sometimes that we're having one of those gray days and we don't get along with somebody. And I know that with how our world has been here lately, that we're in a situation that none of us have ever been in before, and it's okay not to know how to handle it. And I know at my house sometimes my kiddos are having days that they are just loving each other and getting along and sharing and doing things that make them laugh. And then there are some of those gray days when they're really cranky with each other, and maybe they don't understand why. Maybe they're missing their friends or missing school, or maybe they're just confused with everything that's happening, and they take it out on each other. And maybe they're not sharing or letting each other wear something they usually let each other wear. But something that I've learned is what you focus on, you get more of. And when we focus on all those things that someone is doing that makes us angry, it keeps us in a mood and an emotion that's not very good feeling. But when we focus on the good things that other people around us are doing, our brothers, our sisters, our moms, our dads, maybe our neighbors, it tends to put us in a really good mood and makes us feel good about ourselves and feel good about our days. So there are some things that we can do to help us get along with our brothers and sisters while we're here at home a lot more than normal. And something that I like to do with my family is a kindness jar. This is what helps us focus on the kindness and the good that happens in our house. So you can take just a plain jar from home or a Tupperware container and take little notes. And when you see your brother or sister doing something that makes you feel good or something that's kind, write it down. Even put a date on it. Put it in the jar. Maybe at the end of the week or the end of the month or the end of our quarantine, or maybe on a day that your family's just really struggling. Sit down together. Take out the little pieces of paper and remind each other of the good in each other and the things that make us happy, the things that make us a family, and the things that help us get along. If you guys are struggling still, reach out to your school counselors, maybe contact your teacher. We would love to be here to help you. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy getting along together. Bye.